You know what's crazy? Most people think fasting is the ultimate secret to fat loss. They skip meals, push through hunger, and wait for that fat-burning magic to finally kick in. But here's the truth that almost no one talks about: fasting alone isn't enough. I learned this the hard way, and I've seen it happen over and over again. You can be doing everything right, fasting clean, staying consistent, and still feel like your body's fighting you. The reason? You're ignoring the one thing that actually controls how your body uses fat, muscle, and energy: protein. There was a woman in our community who had been fasting for months. She was disciplined, determined, and yet no changes. When she finally started prioritizing her protein, everything shifted. Her cravings disappeared, her energy came back, and the scale finally started to move. That's when she realized fasting isn't the tool that burns fat. Protein is what makes fasting work. See, protein decides whether your body holds on to fat or burns it. It's what stabilizes your metabolism, keeps your hunger hormones calm, and protects your muscle, the very tissue that drives fat loss. Without it, fasting can actually slow your results and make you feel stuck. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use protein, the right timing, the right amount, and the right type to make fasting effortless and effective again. Most people think that as long as they can stretch their fasting window longer and longer, their body will eventually melt fat away. It sounds logical. The less you eat, the more fat you burn, right? But here's the hidden mistake that quietly sabotages almost everyone who fasts. They go too long without feeding their body enough high-quality protein. When your body doesn't get the amino acids it needs, it doesn't just burn fat. It starts to burn muscle. And muscle is not just for tone or strength. It's the very tissue that keeps your metabolism alive. The more muscle you have, the faster your body burns fat. The less you have, the slower everything gets. Think about that. You're fasting, you're hungry, your energy dips, and your body starts breaking down lean tissue to survive. It's not being cruel, it's being efficient. But the cost of that efficiency is a slower metabolism, weaker thyroid response, and higher cortisol, the stress hormone that tells your body to hold on to fat. Now imagine doing that day after day, week after week. You might lose a little weight at first, but soon your progress stalls. You start feeling more tired, your cravings hit harder, and you feel frustrated because fasting who's to work. What's really happening is that your body has adjusted to a protein-deprived fasting routine. I've seen this pattern countless times. Women and men who fast religiously but never think about how they break their fast. They sip black coffee, maybe grab a little fruit or a granola bar, thinking they're being light or clean. But the truth is that tiny snack is signaling your body to store, not burn. It spikes insulin just enough to stop fat burning but provides zero protein to rebuild or repair muscle. Protein isn't just food, it's information. Every time you eat it, you're telling your body, you're safe, you can build, you can burn, you can recover. Without that message, your body slips into a stress response. Cortisol rises, blood sugar becomes unstable, and instead of feeling energized and clear, you start feeling drained, moody, and constantly hungry. And here's where the fasting misunderstanding comes in. Most people obsess over the timing of their fast, not the composition of their first meal. They believe if they just hold out a few hours longer, the fat will finally start melting. But fasting is not a punishment, it's a rhythm. The magic happens when you nourish your body the moment you break that fast with the right fuel. Let's break it down simply. After fasting, your body is in a heightened state of sensitivity. It's ready to absorb and use whatever you give it. If you feed it with sugar, fruit, or processed carbs, your insulin spikes, fat burning shuts off, and you're right back to square one. But if you start with 25 to 40 grams of quality protein, like eggs, salmon, beef, or collagen-rich broth, you reset your metabolism for the entire day. Your body shifts from storing mode to building and burning mode. And when that becomes your habit, when you stop treating your post-fast meal as an afterthought, you'll notice something amazing. You're no longer starving, your cravings shrink. You can fast longer without forcing it because your hormones finally feel balanced. You're not surviving fasting, you're thriving on it. This is why some people say fasting doesn't work for them. It's not fasting that fails. It's the lack of protein that fails fasting. Without enough amino acids, your metabolism slows down, your stress hormones go up, and your muscle mass quietly erodes, taking your fat, burning power with it. So the next time you think about your fasting routine, stop asking, how long can I go without eating? And start asking, what's the first thing I feed my body when I do eat? Because that answer determines whether your fast ends in fat loss or in frustration. Have you ever noticed how some meals keep you full for hours while others leave you starving again in just 30 minutes? That difference isn't magic. It's protein. Protein is the quiet controller of your entire metabolic system. It's what tells your brain you've eaten enough. It steadies your hormones, and it keeps your body in fat burning mode instead of fat storing mode. When you eat protein, something incredible happens inside your body. Your digestive system releases a cascade of hormones, leptin, GLP-1, and peptide YY, all of which send a clear message to your brain. You're satisfied. You can stop eating now. These are your satiety hormones, the ones that make you feel calm and nourished after a meal. At the same time, protein lowers your hunger hormone, ghrelin, which is what drives those intense cravings when you're fasting too long or eating too little. So while fasting naturally lowers insulin and helps burn fat, it's protein that prevents the rebound, that moment when your hunger comes roaring back and you overeat without even realizing it. Think of protein as the thermostat for your metabolism. When it's set right, your body stays in balance. Not too cold, sluggish and tired, not overheated, stressed, and craving. But when protein is too low, it's like turning the thermostat off. Your hunger spikes, your energy crashes, and your body desperately searches for quick fuel, usually in the form of sugar or carbs. That's why so many people break their fast and then end up binging later in the day. It's not a lack of willpower, it's biology. Their body never received the hormonal signal that says, you're full. Protein is the only macronutrient powerful enough to send that signal clearly and consistently. Carbs and fats play their roles, but protein is the one that anchors the system. Inside your brain, there's a center called the hypothalamus. It's like mission control for hunger, hormones, and metabolism. When you eat enough protein, it gets flooded with those satiety signals. The brain then lowers your appetite naturally. Your energy becomes steady, your mood stabilizes, and your body finally feels safe enough to start burning fat efficiently instead of clinging to it. Now, imagine fasting without protein. You're essentially creating a hormonal imbalance. Ghrelin rises, cortisol creeps up, and leptin signaling weakens. Even if you're technically in a calorie deficit, your body resists fat loss because it's under stress. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. You're expending effort, but you're not getting anywhere. The beauty of protein is that it helps you work with your biology, not against it. When you break your fast with a high-protein meal, say eggs with avocado, or salmon with a bit of butter, you instantly stabilize your blood sugar and hormone levels. You feel full for hours, not because you stuffed yourself, but because your body has what it needs to rebuild and repair. And here's something most people don't realize. The very act of digesting protein burns calories. It's called the thermic effect of food. Protein requires more energy to break down than carbs or fats, meaning your metabolism literally speeds up as your body processes it. That's why people who prioritize protein often have higher metabolic rates. They're burning more even while resting. It's also why you can fast longer and more comfortably once your protein intake improves. Because when your hormones are balanced, you don't feel deprived. Your body isn't panicking for quick energy. It's calmly burning stored fat because it trusts that nourishment is coming. So, if you've ever struggled with that post-fast crash, that foggy, ravenous feeling that makes you question if fasting is even worth it, start by looking at your protein. Not the window, not the calorie count, but the quality and amount of protein you're giving your body when it matters most. It's not just about eating more. It's about eating smart. Protein teaches your hormones how to behave, your metabolism how to run, and your appetite how to stay calm. It's the quiet teacher that keeps your entire system in check. Timing can completely change the way your body uses food. You can eat the right foods, But if you eat them at the wrong time, your results can stall or even reverse. This is especially true for protein. The moment you choose to eat it and how consistently you space it through your day determines whether your body burns fat or clings to it. After fasting, your body is in a delicate, almost magical state. Insulin levels are low, growth hormone is high, and your cells are ready to absorb nutrients like a sponge. What you feed yourself at that exact moment decides what happens next. If you reach for coffee, cream, or fat first, you send your body a message. Hold on, we're still conserving energy. But if you start with protein, the signal flips. We're rebuilding, we're burning, we're thriving. Dr. Shawn Baker, one of the leading voices in the carnivore and metabolic health space, often says protein is the foundation of your metabolism. When you break your fast with it, you're teaching your body to use energy properly again. And it's true. Protein doesn't just feed your muscles, it feeds your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside your cells that generate energy. When you reintroduce protein after fasting, those mitochondria wake up and begin burning fat efficiently for fuel. Dr. Anthony Chaffee explains it another way. Fasting primes your body for efficiency, but it's the protein that directs that efficiency toward healing, repair, and fat loss. Without that amino acid signal, your body stays in stress mode. And the benefits of fasting, improved insulin sensitivity, clearer energy, reduced inflammation, get muted. When you eat protein first, even before fats or carbs, you slow the absorption of everything that follows. This keeps your blood sugar stable, prevents that post-meal crash, and extends the fat burning window you worked so hard to create through fasting. It's like landing a plane gently instead of slamming it onto the runway. Let's get practical. The first meal after your fast should always center around protein, about 25 to 40 grams, depending on your size and goals. Think eggs, salmon, ground beef, or even a quality protein shake if you're in a rush. This first dose replenishes your amino acid pool, repairs fasting-related cell damage, and tells your metabolism to switch from preservation to rebuilding mode. From there, spreading protein evenly throughout the day is key. Many people make the mistake of cramming all their protein into one giant meal, thinking it's efficient. But your body can only use so much protein at once for muscle synthesis, roughly 30 to 50 grams, depending on your body's needs. The rest is either burned or stored. By dividing your protein across 2 or 3 balanced meals, you keep muscle protein synthesis switched on all day long, which keeps your metabolism elevated and fat oxidation steady. Think of it like a steady rhythm, not a single burst. When you eat protein consistently, your blood sugar stays balanced, your energy levels remain stable, and your cravings fade away. You're not chasing food. Your body's already satisfied and humming along. Post-fast protein also plays a huge role in cellular repair. During fasting, your body activates autophagy, a deep clean of damaged cells. But once you eat, that repair process needs raw materials to rebuild new, healthy tissue. That's where protein comes in. Its amino acids are literally the building blocks your body uses to restore skin, muscle, enzymes, and hormones. Without enough of it, that cellular renewal cycle gets interrupted and your body starts to break down instead of rejuvenate. There's also something almost hormonal about eating protein early. It boosts dopamine and serotonin production, your feel-good brain chemicals, which explains why you feel calmer, sharper, and more satisfied after a protein-rich meal. This emotional balance is crucial for long-term fasting success because it helps you stay consistent without white-knuckling through hunger or mood swings. If you're serious about fat loss and metabolic health, protein timing isn't optional. It's everything. Fasting sets the stage, but protein cues the performance. The timing of that first bite can mean the difference between sustained energy and chronic fatigue, between real fat loss and frustrating plateaus. So many people hit that wall. They start fasting, see quick results, and then suddenly, nothing. The scale stops moving, their energy dips, their clothes fit the same week after week. They start wondering if something's wrong with their hormones or if fasting just doesn't work anymore. But what's really happening isn't failure, it's underfeeding, specifically too little protein. Here's what most people don't realize. When your body isn't getting enough protein, your metabolism quietly slows down. You might not feel it right away, but inside, your thyroid starts dialing back your metabolic rate, your muscle tissue begins to shrink, and your body burns fewer calories even at rest. Over time, this creates the illusion that fasting stopped working, when in reality, your body just adapted to a protein shortage. Protein is what keeps your metabolism alive. Every organ, every enzyme, every hormone your body makes depends on amino acids, the building blocks of protein. When those are in short supply, your body has to make tough choices. It conserves energy, it holds on to fat, and it breaks down muscle for survival. You lose the very tissue that determines how many calories you burn each day. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken with who eat what they think is enough. They'll say, I get plenty of protein. I have eggs for breakfast and maybe some chicken later. But when we actually add it up, it's only 40 to 60 grams a day. For most adults, that's barely half of what's needed to maintain lean muscle, let alone build it. And if you're fasting, your protein needs actually go up because you have fewer meals to meet your daily requirements. Here's the hard truth. You can be eating clean, staying in your fasting window, and still be undernourished. You're not broken. You're just underfeed. When protein stays low for too long, your thyroid, the master controller of metabolism, begins to slow its output. T3, the active thyroid hormone, starts to drop. That means lower energy, colder hands and feet, sluggish digestion, and that feeling of, I'm doing everything right, but my body isn't responding. This is one of the most common signs of protein deficiency during fasting, and it's often mistaken for hormonal imbalance or metabolic damage. Your body's trying to protect you. When it doesn't get enough amino acids, it assumes you're in a famine, so it holds on to fat for survival and spares energy wherever it can. That's why you might start needing more sleep, feeling weaker in your workouts, or noticing that your skin and hair lose their glow. It's not vanity, it's a sign your body doesn't have enough raw materials to rebuild itself. And the good news, the fix is beautifully simple. You don't need to eat more often, just eat smarter. Focusing on high-quality protein like eggs, beef, fish, or even a clean protein shake after fasting can literally reignite your metabolism. Within days, you'll feel more energetic, your body temperature may rise slightly, and you'll notice you're hungrier for real food, not sugar or snacks. That's your metabolism waking up again. Think of your metabolism like a campfire. Fasting clears out the smoke and the old ashes. But protein is the wood. It's what actually keeps the flame burning. Without enough of it, your fire dims. You can blow on the embers all you want, but until you feed it, it won't come back to life. There's also a psychological side to this. When people start eating enough protein, they finally stop fighting their hunger. Their body stops screaming for energy because it's finally being fed. Cravings calm down, mood improves, and fasting suddenly feels effortless again. That's not magic, it's biology finally cooperating. So before you assume fasting isn't for you or that your metabolism is broken, check your protein. Most people need at least 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of lean body weight to maintain strong metabolism and hormone health. If you're fasting, aim to hit that within your eating window, even if it means prioritizing protein first and letting other foods fill in after. There's a moment in every fast that decides everything, the meal that breaks it. That single decision can either push your body deeper into fat burning mode or instantly shut it off. Most people don't realize that how you break your fast matters just as much as how long you fasted. And the truth is, there's a simple, almost foolproof formula that changes everything: protein first, then fat, then carbs, if any. Let's start with why this order matters. After fasting, your body is in a highly sensitive state. Your insulin is low, your fat burning pathways are wide open, and your cells are ready to absorb nutrients efficiently. But this sensitivity is a double-edged sword. It means whatever you eat first sets the tone for your entire metabolic response. If you start with sugar, fruit, or even fat alone, you can blunt your fat burning switch or trigger cravings later. But if you start with protein, you stabilize your hormones instantly. Protein first does a few powerful things. It stimulates glucagon, the hormone that works opposite to insulin, signaling your body to continue burning stored fat for energy. It also activates your muscle building pathways, protecting your lean tissue so your metabolism stays strong. And because protein digests slowly, it naturally slows the release of glucose from anything you eat after it. That's how you keep your blood sugar flat, your energy stable, and your cravings under control all day long. Here's a simple way to visualize it. Imagine your metabolism like a switchboard. The first food you eat after fasting flips the main breaker. If you flip it with protein, every light in your metabolic system turns on: thyroid, fat oxidation, muscle repair, brain clarity. But if you flip it with something like butter coffee, juice, or even just fat, only half the lights come on. You feel warm for a bit, maybe energized, but soon you crash because the foundation wasn't there. Now, let's talk about what this looks like in real life. A perfect protein first meal could be something as simple as 3 eggs cooked in butter, a few slices of steak, or even a bowl of collagen-rich bone broth with shredded chicken. You could also go for ground beef with avocado or salmon with a small serving of cooked vegetables. These meals give you that 30 to 40 grams of protein your body's craving, along with healthy fats that keep you satisfied without spiking insulin. If you prefer something lighter or you're easing into eating, a scoop of collagen or whey protein blended with water, almond milk, or even black coffee works beautifully. It's gentle on digestion and still gives your body the amino acids it needs to reset metabolism after the fast. Once you've had your protein, then add your fats, butter, avocado, olive oil, yolks, and if your plan allows, a small portion of carbs like squash, berries, or sweet potato. The order is everything. Always eat your protein before your energy foods. This one small change has helped thousands of people eliminate post-fast crashes and stay in fat burning mode for hours after eating. It's the difference between steady energy and those mid-day slumps that make fasting feel like a chore. Dr. Chaffee often reminds his patients that fasting is only half the equation. Refeeding is where the real magic happens. And he's right. When you break your fast with protein first, you're not just ending your fast, you're programming your metabolism for the rest of the day. Your body reads that meal as a signal of abundance and stability, not stress or scarcity. It knows it's safe to keep burning fat instead of storing it. There's also a deeper reason this works so well: digestion. Protein requires the strongest stomach acid to break down. When you eat it first, you prime your digestive system. Then, when you follow it with fat and carbs, your body handles them more efficiently. That means fewer bloating issues, better nutrient absorption, and a smoother transition out of your fasted state. So next time you're about to break your fast, pause for a moment. Ask yourself what message you want to send to your body. Is it panic and store or fuel and burn? Because that one choice, what you eat first, decides everything that follows. The real transformation doesn't come from one perfect fast or 1 week of clean eating. It comes from building a rhythm, a blueprint that your body can trust day after day. Fasting works beautifully when it's combined with nourishment, not deprivation. And the core of that nourishment is protein. That's what allows you to fast long-term, maintain muscle, keep your hormones balanced, and actually enjoy the process. When you start treating protein as your foundation instead of an afterthought, everything begins to shift. Your energy stabilizes, your cravings disappear, and your metabolism becomes steady and reliable. You stop chasing diets or complicated schedules because your body finally feels safe. That safety, that feeling of being fed, not starved, is what allows fat burning to become effortless and sustainable. Here's what that looks like in real life. You design your fasting windows around your natural energy patterns, not around guilt or pressure. Maybe you fast for 14 to 16 hours because that feels doable. Then you fill your eating window with 2 or 3 protein-centered meals, each one rich in real whole foods like eggs, salmon, beef, chicken, or Greek yogurt. You make sure each meal gives you at least 30 to 40 grams of protein, and you balance it with fats and low-carb vegetables that support your hormones. This is what I call the fasting protein blueprint, a flexible, hormone-friendly structure that adapts to you. It's not about chasing the next trend or pushing for longer fasts. It's about fueling your metabolism so well that fasting becomes a tool for clarity, not punishment. Over time, something incredible happens. You stop thinking about food all the time. You wake up energized even before your first meal. Your workouts feel stronger. Your clothes start fitting differently, not just looser, but better. Your body composition changes because you're preserving muscle while burning fat, and your metabolism becomes more efficient with every meal. Dr. Sean Baker calls protein the nutrient of longevity, and that's exactly what this blueprint supports: longevity. When you eat enough high-quality protein, you protect your muscle mass, which protects your metabolism, which in turn protects your ability to age well. It's a beautiful domino effect that starts with something as simple as prioritizing protein every single day. And here's the best part: you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to hit exact numbers or follow strict meal plans. The power comes from consistency, not perfection. When you get most of your meals right, when you choose protein first more often than not, your body responds. You can have days that are flexible, travel days, rest days, family dinners, and your metabolism will stay strong because you've built that foundation over time. It's also about listening to your body. There will be days when you need more food and days when fasting feels natural. Both are fine. Your hormones thrive on rhythm, not rigidity. The more you trust your hunger cues and respond with real, nourishing protein instead of empty snacks, the more your body learns that it doesn't have to hold on to fat. It can burn it freely because it's no longer in survival mode. When you live this way long term, you'll notice that fasting stops feeling like a phase and becomes a lifestyle, a calm, balanced way of living that gives you both freedom and results. You won't fear food anymore. You'll understand how to use it. You'll know exactly what to eat when you break your fast, how to fuel your day, and how to recover when life gets busy. That's the true power of having a fasting protein blueprint. It removes confusion and brings clarity. So if you've been struggling with plateaus, cravings, or low energy while fasting, it's not that your body is broken. It's that it's waiting for the right fuel, the right rhythm, and the right approach. Start with protein, protect your metabolism, and let consistency do the rest.